So after watching the video, perhaps I got a little too excited and jumped right into the questions. There's a sort of an overarching question that I forgot to address. I want to address it now so that we don't miss it. So one quick context here for those of you who don't already know is that David has been around in the industry for a long time. He started as an attorney in the industry, as a senior executive at NBC Universal, which is now part of Comcast, where I used to work at, and he became the CEO of Discovery, and of course now he's the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, the combined entity. So I'd like to say we have an adult in the room, and I have an overarching question in the industry. So the question is about industry disruption in general. And again, one context for some of the generals here is that the media industry has already gone through many disruptions over the past century, right? And obviously the Warner Brothers Discovery has been around over the past century. It's been around for a long time. Not you, but the company has been around for a century. And and it has gone through multiple transitions, right? We went from print to video, went from black and white to color, went from TV broadcasting to pay TV. And every one of these, whenever that happened, there was a pretty significant disruption in the industry, right? And obviously Warner Brothers Discovery have outlived it, and here we are. This one that we're going through now, the disruption through now, it seems pretty quick, right? And it is also being kind of driven by large companies, very well capitalized, and especially initially, they didn't really care about the unit economics or making money from the businesses. It was really challenging for the core media companies to compete. So given that, what is happening now, two-part question here. The first part is, how do you compete, right? How do you stay young as an organization to continue to compete against these companies that are throwing billions and billions of dollars, they're careless, but maybe don't care as much about the unit economics of those businesses? How do you compete long run?
Well, I think we stay true to who we are. We're a pure storytelling company. And as long as we're making the best content and we're attracting the best creative talent in the world, and when we tell a story, it's a story that you want to go home and you want to put the TV set on, or you want to go into the theater and watch, we're going to be a very healthy company. And in terms of that box, we're the biggest producer of quality television. You look at the quality content we're producing at HBO and Max. And so over the last 2+ years since we took over, really had two focuses. One, we recognized very early on that this is a generational disruption.
Yes.
And so we need to restructure this company for the future. Taking a look at each business, what does this business look like if we were going to start it today? What do we need? What content is working for us? What isn't? And so we were quite aggressive over the last 2 years. When we took the company over on a trailing basis, it was losing $3 billion. Max itself was losing $2.5 billion. So one was, we need to get this business healthy and restructured for the future. What does this business look like so that we have the best chance of succeeding? And here we are 2.5 years in. Last year, we had over $6 billion in free cash flow. Part of being healthy is having a healthy balance sheet. So we've paid down over $15 billion in debt. We look at our capital structure now as a real asset. We went into the market last week and did a tender where we bought back, we had $2.6 billion, and we were able to buy back $3.4 billion in debt because our debt is so low in terms of interest rate that it's really an asset for us. So one was, how do we get this company looking toward the future? And we've built a great team, and we have a long-term plan. It's going to take time. We have a long-term plan for DC. We're now this idea of taking Max globally. We've been working on it for over 2 years. We're finally going to be driving Max around the world. But I think one piece of it is to really get in there early and recognize that things aren't going to be the same. And the second was, we need to have the best creative content in the world. We need the best creatives with us. So we've been fighting, as we've been restructuring the company, to get the best creative people with us. Ryan Coogler is back at Warner Brothers. Tom Cruise is back at Warner Brothers. Clooney, Paul Thomas Anderson. So, we have great creative people. We want the best creative people with us. But disruption is not new. When I started at NBC, I was part of the team that launched CNBC. But at that time, it was a huge disruption. Will it be just the broadcast, or will cable be a real business? And we were so unsure that it would be a business that Jack Welch felt like we can't do this ourselves. So we partnered with Chuck Dolan, and we launched AMC, Bravo, IFC, CNBC, MSNBC, News 12 Long Island, sports channels. 4 years in, they were all losing money. But we had to fight and will them to success. And then we had to scale them up. It's not that different. And during that time, a lot of people felt it's not going to make the turn. I feel that same way now about where we are. We have gotten max profitable. We have a great bouquet of content. We've learned a lot about what works and what doesn't. And as we take this around the world, I think we have a real opportunity. Because in order to be successful in this business, we've been committed to global in our traditional business, but in order to really be successful, we need to be global, and this is a good moment for us.